I started playing guitar when I was around 15 years old, and I started playing on an old nylon string classical guitar that my parents had bought for my brother at the time, who never ended up playing guitar. And that was all I knew for the best part of at least a couple of years. I was learning and practicing Guns N' Roses tune on that guitar, which had a huge baseball bat neck with a flat fingerboard radius and tiny skinny frets and massive nylon strings. That was the only guitar I had ever played until at some point my cousin came up to me and said he had acquired this acoustic guitar, like a proper acoustic guitar, like this one is with steel strings and proper machine heads and all that. That day I fell in love with the sound and the feel of an acoustic guitar, and I never looked back since. Fast forward a few years, I now own 2 acoustic guitars, which is a number that I intend to expand on. And a few days ago I had this revelation where I realized that if you are at all a semi-professional, even just at the local level, musician, and you play acoustic gigs or stuff like that, you need more than one guitar. Now, this is not at all to say that you cannot get away with just one. You absolutely can, and I've done so for many years. But what having 2 guitars allows you to do is a couple of things, actually. Number one thing is different tunings. I have recently fallen in love actually watching a Red Show video. I've fallen in love with the DADGAD tuning, and I discovered so many sounds that I can make come out of my guitar that I never experienced before. Why I say this is a problem or could be an issue is that I played a gig recently where I had to switch back and forth from standard tuning to DADGAD tuning, and that took me a long time, and you come up with these awkward silences where the singers run out of things to say and you just left there on stage tuning your guitar back and forth with people staring at you, and you have to come up with some sort of joke to get out of that situation. And by having 2 guitars tuned differently, you can just simply switch from one to the other and done, problem solved. The other one is the style of playing that each guitar lends itself to. For example, this is an orchestra model. It's an OM, what is called an OM guitar. And it was invented to really excel in finger-picking style of playing. That does not mean that you cannot strum this guitar hard and have a beautiful tone coming out of it. But it's not what it's intended to do. This guitar, on the other hand, is what is called a dreadnought shape, which is a much bigger body, and it takes strumming much better than an OM guitar, for example. It's a much bigger, bassier, louder tone response and characteristic than an OM guitar. So just like electric guitars, you have different guitars doing different things in the acoustic world. These are just the two that I happen to own. There are many more kinds of acoustic guitars. I actually was looking today at Gibson L00, I think is called, and those guitars are what are called parlor guitars, which again, depending on the body shape, the bracing, the kinds of wood that are used to make the guitar, have different tone characteristics and applications. If you know me at all, you happen to know that I do love playing acoustic guitar. It's probably something that I love more than playing electric, even though I own way more electric guitars than I own acoustic guitars. What I love about acoustic guitar playing is that it's direct, is organic, and is true. And there's no hiding, there's no pedals, there's no amps, there's no reverbs or delays that you can use to affect the tone and get crazy sounds out of. It's just you and the strings, and that's it. What comes out of your hands onto the strings and out to the ears of the people that are there listening to you play. I find that I like the romantic idea of that. Another important thing about acoustic guitar is that you just leave it there on the couch and it's there. You sit down, you pick it up, and you start playing, practicing, writing songs. I cannot recall how many times I came up with ideas for a song in the morning, just having a cup of coffee, sitting down on the couch. Acoustic guitars are your friends. They're there for you to write music and get better and get inspired. And it goes back to that idea that sometimes less is more.